Good morning. So I did a shuffle and a bunch of different cards threw themselves out. I'm still using the Lords of the Trident deck, but I'm also using the auspicious symbols. And so Ouroboros and Heka came out. So I'll talk about them first, and then I'll get into the cards. So Ouroboros, literally the snake eating its own tail. You know, a perpetual loop of, something. It says regeneration, rebirth is now underway. So a cycle, literally a cycle that we are experiencing, something that we've been going through almost in a loop-like, thing is kind of going through a change of some sort. And how it relates is, so like, for example, the Lovers, see how there's a snake? Get it where it's hopefully in focus. But see how there's the snake wrapped around the tree? So the snake in this card for me is of importance. So now the legend of Adam and Eve is that it was the snake's fault that Eve ate the fruit. So in this card, let me see if I can focus it just a little bit better for a second. You see in the card where it appears as if the snake is almost talking in her ear. So maybe see it's a loop. So sometimes we can have what I call skipping record syndrome, like where something just keeps on repeat. Sometimes it's not always a bad thing. The number of this card is 29. So in astrology, the 29th degree is a very potent degree when a planet gets to that degree. So right now there is a couple planets getting close to that, hovering back and forth, and they will be getting closer to that degree. And normally, where something ends is also where something begins. So in this card, you can see that the figure that's having the snake talking in her ear, she has, this is a CD, but it could also be, interpreted as like a message of some sort. So she has a message that she's handing over to this guy over here. So sometimes, see how happy he is? Sometimes the looping that we have isn't always a negative thing. Sometimes, like when it comes to, for example, music, musicians are plagued with the thing that loops. So if you have continual music floating around in there, it's important, and sometimes it's as if it's come down from somewhere into your brain, and sometimes the whole point is to take what is looping and literally turn it into something that you can give to others. So then the next card here, right, is the drumstick or the wand, right? So the cloud here, where something literally is given, from the ethereal realm, is now something that you can work with. And also something about it's directly over the mountain, right? And then in the next card, there's a house built on it. So something about building a foundation of some sort. Sometimes you could perceive it as like, in music, it could be like the skeleton or the riff bank or something like that, where something, is being malleable and put into something that's more solid, a solid foundation. So if you have music swirling around in your brain, literally let it flow. Let that idea out. And another thing is like, all right, so here, see how his hands are extended out, right? So that's when Heka comes in. So if you look at Heka in the symbolism, above the head is the hands that are extended. Also, the snakes there, right? So snakes are known as regeneration. It's also shedding of old skins. Maybe there's a way of which you've been attempting to do music that you need to walk into in a new way. How can we think about, because Heka literally stands for magic. It's like basically the magician card in Egyptian culture. So if you look up Heka, it basically means the place of creation where we create something, and sometimes it comes from a childlike status, an innocent kind of place. So then, we add in Heka, and then you get the chariot, right? So there's the house, or the place in which is being the focal point, and then here comes the chariot showing, the places. So it's like almost like we're coming into new terrain, a new way of thinking, a new way of experiencing. And then, right, so Egypt, and then now we're getting the pyramids. So how I'm going to interpret this is that there's a new terrain. Sometimes it could be a quite literal new place, or you may end up going to somewhere new. And you would have to choose between doing something the way that you used to do it, or trying to attempt to do something new. So you're being suggested to go towards something new. This idea that you have swirling around in your brain, actually has a purpose. And so the Page of Wand is to examine sometimes our ideas, and to see them in new ways. And also sometimes the Page of Wands literally needs to go somewhere new, whether it's mentally, physically, or emotionally, going to a new place, experiencing the idea in a new place, or to attempt to connect with the idea in a new manner, or in literally a new place. So then the Knight of Cups is known as the idealist, the romantic, sometimes it does, some depictions of this card shows letters and, romanticism. And so it is okay, because you got the Lovers, to romanticize something in which you are giving. See, so he's holding a bottle of mead, or beer, excuse me, but followed by directly is the Ten of Cups. So there is something that we are giving from a heart center, a gift in which has come from a deep place of creation, a magical place in which we've sought something from higher. So if you're hearing music all day long, if you're plagued with that, instead of ignoring it, maybe just kind of try to pull it down, because there's something of importance that's coming there. And whether it is for you or for somebody else, this place in which you are coming from literally is important, and it will be appreciated by many. The Ten of Cups can be a success card, so something that you have been working on for a long period of time, that you have literally gone through the sandpaper phase of getting your ass just kind of ground into, habits sometimes that we have to learn to walk away from, and it can be in any department how it shows up for you. But something about the gift in which you are giving is going to be celebrated and appreciated by a lot of people, and it comes from a place of, from the heart. So, and it's something to, see the children here. This is also an energy of Heka, because it comes from the childlike place in our mind. So I always say, I'm 5 years old. One of the reasons why I say that is because if you look at the world like a 5-year-old, people and the situations in the world can't steal the magic in which still exists. Like, there are people who can come into the world and turn happiness into sadness, but it is your responsibility, to make happiness and bring it forth into the world in whatever way, because you're getting cups, something emotional, in a childlike kind of way. And then also another reason why I say I'm 5 years old is because if you continually focus on age, and I don't know why that's specific, maybe it's somebody specific. If you continue to think about your age and you keep talking about your age, your body does this weird thing where it's like, oh, I gotta catch up because this is the age that we're at. So if you say I'm 5 years old all the time, your body kind of does this weird thing, like where it kind of like slows down and it retains its youthfulness. So I don't know why that's important, but I feel like that's something that maybe we should think about. So, you know, appreciate the talents and the offerings that you have for people, whether it is in intimate relationships, friendships, in a business environment, or with people who support you in any kind of way. Do not neglect any good ideas that come to you that have a way of literally building a future for you, a solid foundation. Don't be afraid to go new places, new realms, new experiences. Literally, if the childlike experience, maybe you haven't allowed yourself to quite literally have fun for a little while. So go do that. Go have fun, experience something new, and do it different than you used to do. Do it with an open mind, with creativity, with a drive, with a hunger and a passion that maybe hasn't been there for a while. And the pyramids always make me think of something old. So something old and something new. Something borrowed, something blue. You know what I mean? But allow what is coming from your heart to be a gift, because you are a gift and people appreciate you as such, and what you have to offer, your best is good enough. Remember that. And the people who love you and appreciate you will love and appreciate the gifts in which you give. You know, sure, there'll be the 10% of haters always in the world, but remember, there's 90% of people who appreciate you and would love to support you and to see you become more than you are in this moment. So don't forget that you are loved more than you think you are. And I love you guys. I hope that helps somebody. Bye.